and he was going to give me 150, and my friend said get a divorce lawyer, and now I have Simpson's money. And by the way, the Chucky only pays for the snacks. You go, girl. You go. Erica talks about her life. Sutton talks about her life. We're getting this dinner. It all heats up. Sutton just wonders, why am I with these people? They really fucking hate me. None of them like me. Kyle somehow always gets in the middle of it. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Kyle and with Sutton without Garcelle there, which I've got things on. We're going to get into next season and this whole resigning in like 2 minutes. So I love that we're calling out Jennifer Tilly. Jennifer Tilly speaks up. She's not afraid. Erica does not give a fuck who she is. And we did not plan it. Dorit's like, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Let me just go with that. And Erica says, well, thank you. I thought I was being accused of something. I'm glad we cleared the air. It seems like her and Sutton really said, Erica says, I want to move ahead. I believe you want to move ahead with me. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with these two next season, too. We'll get into it. I mean, listen, if Kyle ain't speaking to Dorit and Sutton ain't speaking to Dorit, we're going to discuss. I mean, is Sutton happy that Garcelle isn't there? Because maybe now she could just go and be best friends with Kyle. I'm seeing bad things for this friendship, okay? But we're winding it down and we know this is the last episode and it's about to end. Erica lets us know she will never, I love you dearly, Bose. I love all of you, but I will never get married again. Been there, done that. And Dorit's like, "Oh, girl, I hear ya." And it's starting to end, and it ends, and everyone's in a place, and Dorit's gonna start like filtering PKs. I don't even know what I'm saying. Filtering PKs emails, and then it ends, and cameras are up, guys. Cameras are back up 1 month later, 911. Anytime the cameras are up, I'm like, why are they picking cameras up? And they pick cameras up. I think it was really important. This didn't really slip out to the media, but I think it was really important that they pick cameras up to just end this story. Look, I will die on the sword of I think Erica was madly in love with Tom. Yes, Erica's not going to marry someone who's poor. She loved him. Part of that was because he had money, but I will die on the sword of like Erica was in love with that man. And really is, I mean, she kind of started to open up to us, but she's hurting her whole life. Even if you're not hurting, it's still a change when you're used to living in one place and now you're living in another. Granted, it's also been a few years, so it's time to get over it. And I thought this was just like a real scene where on August 27th, Tom, her husband, as she says, because they're not divorced nor are they getting divorced, was found guilty of embezzlement. And Erica couldn't get married if she wanted to. Um, How's that going to work out when she finds a really rich guy? I guess if your spouse passes away, then you're no longer married. So, I mean, not that Tom has passed away yet, but she knew the verdict was not going to be good. And she knew either way, when this day came, she would feel really bad. And, she says, look, whatever it is, this is not the guy that I knew. And that's what's hard about this. And that is, I mean, you guys hate Erica, I get it, but it still has to be hard when you are living. I had Dr. Jen here and I asked her about this, about like, how does someone like Erica ever trust again? Like you were with somebody and she even said, this is not the person I knew. So you think you're married to one person, then you find out they're a total scam. And then Erica says, how this story ends. Oh, it really is sad that this is your legacy. I don't feel so bad for Tom Girardi because I mean he's a total scumbag who stole. But when she asked her, how are you doing? Terrible, terrible. I'm not doing good. And Erica lets us know. Remember a few seasons ago when I had the fatter face and the puffy face, and I was drinking and doing pills and mixing my cocktails together with pills and painkillers. And I have a song called Painkiller. Well, I almost slipped back into those to that world because that's what was happening for a while. So there you go. And he is found guilty on 4 counts of whatever the fuck it was. And he's been given 80 years, and Erica says that man ain't got 80 days. Well, You've moved on. So he doesn't have 80 days. And she says, closure, I guess. Kyle says, who was defending him? And Erica says, public defenders. Oh, how low can you go? And they say, dint, dint, dint. They have the music. Like Kyle is like, oh my gosh, darling, he didn't have money for a proper defense. If Mauricio is ever, whatever for embezzlement, he has all the money to pay for the best lawyers, darling. She was shocked that he was working with public defenders. Yes, guys, I get lost in the weeds. You know this about me. And it's difficult for Erica. It's difficult. And she's dealt with this for 4 years every day, and she is still dealing with this, and it is now ending. And she has not spoken to Tom. She's not had the chance to speak to him, and this is just a shocker. Well, we have a reunion coming up, and it looks good. If we have time, we'll talk about that. Let's get into Garcelle resigning, ladies. Oh, I also want to review the looks. God, we have so much to get into. Garcelle has left the show. I need to ask the psychics. I always say nobody leaves on their own. It's a lot of money. But look, I mean, especially after Watch What Happens and Erica, it seems like she left on her own. Now, I hope that this wasn't a reaction like Rinna has, where she gets so pissed off and she fires off an email and then she changes her mind. Rinna says her biggest regret is not quitting right at the reunion. Did Garcelle quit right at the reunion in part as like a fuck you to Lisa Rinna? Is that her new message to Lisa Rinna? I mean, and has Lisa Rinna reached out to Garcelle to say another one bites the dust? Garcelle will say, girl, I know you and your friend Diana Junkin hired bots against my child. Now, I'm not saying that, but I think Garcelle thinks that the bots were from Rinna and Diana. But it works out, right? I mean, it all ends the same. I bet you Garcelle is like, this is my fuck you to you, Rinna, because I did it at the reunion. So it sounds like, I mean, why is no one talking about this? Like she says, like not all skin folk are kinfolk. And so she has an issue with Bose, and Bose did not hold back on what happened. So they ain't close. What happened at the reunion that made Garcelle so angry? Look, I don't think Garcelle's been in the business for a long time. I don't think it's like a reaction. I'm pissed off and I quit and now I take it back. I think she did storm out of the reunion. She didn't take the cast picture. Erica says we knew weeks ago that Garcelle quit, and then she kept talking, and Andy's like, let me interrupt you. I didn't know weeks ago. Someone's in Andy's ear saying, address that, Andy, address that. You didn't know anything. He's like, I didn't know weeks ago. And Erica's like, oh, come on, darling. Like, we all know how this. I love when Erica just like takes over production and thinks she's like, come on, darling. This is how it all works. Like, like she didn't take the cast picture. So because she didn't take the cast picture, she quit. And Andy's like, yeah, I don't know if that's actually a way to like really say it because Kyle didn't take the cast picture. And Erica's like, oh, please, honey. Like Kyle's never leaving the show. You know that. So but it seems like she walked out and she walked off and she left on her own, it seems. But I still want to ask the psychics because let's see what they say. I think it's a little bit of everything, right? I've said this. I have a show coming out this week with Amir that I recorded an hour before this was announced, where we were kind of before Garcelle quit. I think it's a more interesting listen now that will come out this week because like I do think Garcelle, by process of elimination, was the weak link in the sense that we're never getting rid of Kyle. Dorit's about to go through a divorce on TV. Bose is new and we love her. Most people do. Not everyone. A lot of people hate her now after Watch What Happens. So we're not getting rid of her. Sutton has the money. You also have Tilly with Sutton. We're not done with Sutton yet. And so, just by process of elimination, I do think that Garcelle was the weak link in this cast, the same way I thought Crystal was. I don't think they were going to get rid of Crystal, but I don't. So to me, it's like, was there a conversation of like, you are the weak link? Maybe it's your time. I mean, if you said that to me, that's almost like telling me I'm fired. Garcelle is not dumb. She's been in this business forever. So, like, did someone tell her that? Did she understand it was maybe her time? Or was it just like, yeah, she was going to get like a bad edit next season. And then, look, she's not an idiot. She has to bring something to the show next season other than the beach house. So, was it like, well, where is my storyline going? And you guys do everyone dirty, and you did Dorinda dirty, and you did Rinna dirty. And I know how this business works. And like, it's time. I'm not staying around for you guys to do me dirty. So, I don't know. I don't think it's as simple as